we're happy to get to win number 2 this past week versus Charlotte. Thought it was a team effort, overall team effort, with all phases of the game, offensively, defensively, special teams, and we realize that's what we're going to have to do in order to win ball games week in and week out.
What did you particularly love to turn the ball over from the time?
Defensively, we're in the right place at the right time. All right, we knew that their quarterback Johnson hadn't made any mistakes heading into our game, and we know it's going to be important to try to get to him with some pressure, rattle him a little bit, so we can make some errant throws. We had some tip balls, some errant throws, and in addition to being in the right place at the right time, coverage-wise.
Is it maybe fair to say that you were at a level higher than anybody that they had played in their first 2 games, and they might have had trouble adjusting to playing against us?
Well, Charlotte's a good football team. They again recruited well. They've got some talent. I thought we just came off, had a really good start, unlike we've had in the past, and that's going to be key to getting off to a good start week in, week out. But I think it really had a lot to do with us. Us getting off to a good start and believing and having some more confidence, down the stretch.
What do you expect this coming weekend?
Well, Towson's a very good football team, as we know. It isn't a secret that they're a number 4 team in the country, and it's going to take a valiant effort, to get a win, this week. They do a lot of things well. Offensively, certainly they're led by their running back Terrence West, and he does everything that you're asking to do as a running back. Great big offensive line up front, quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, and some solid receivers in the receiving corps. Defensively, extremely active bunch, very athletic. They bring multiple pressures. They're multiple front defense, 4 down and 3 down, and they try to mix up a lot of things to disguise and kind of rattle your quarterback with coverage-wise as well. But they'll send tons of pressure, and they want to get to your quarterback and stop the run game as well.
Did you see enough encouraging things from last Saturday and to this point in the season to be optimistic heading into this game?
Indeed, absolutely. We talk about making strides and improvements week in and week out, and I definitely thought we made some strides this past Saturday. And we know that in order for us to be successful during the week, we really have to compete, to have some success on Saturday. So the work week, is tremendous for us. We can come out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday and do the things that we know we're capable of doing. Saturday is going to be, a great for us.
Is the CAA kind of the gold standard in FCS? Best conference or up to the top when you're playing the team in that conference, it's a big opportunity if you can knock them off.
Huge opportunity, great conference. I mean, we look at consistently, they're getting 5-6 teams in the FCS playoffs year in, year out. So certainly the production out of that conference speaks for itself, and it's important, for us to, as we look at our national stage and beyond our conference and Midwest Athletic Conference, that when you look at a national picture, you have to beat teams, such as Towson.
Do you know anybody with the Towson program? Very well, have been from Maryland. Do you know any of their people?
No.
What are some areas you still need to clean up heading into Saturday, you think?
Well, we still turned the ball over 3 times on Saturday, and in particular in the red zone. So that has to get fixed. That certainly has to get fixed. We still got to keep working to play fundamental football, in all phases, as well. We're going to keep harping on that, fundamentals, and I think that kind of, in particular, kind of helped us up front, for the most part, and kind of seeing the mistakes that we had over the past couple of weeks and how we can fix those to run the ball better. I thought we did, and running the football better, but we just have to play sound, be in the right place at the right time, and be consistent and finish.
When your special teams can come through with you and score for you, I mean, how much, just talk about the lift that can give the rest of the team?
Oh, that's huge. Special teams is huge. It's something we work on, just as much as we work offensively and defensively, those special teams periods. And our guys know if they do the job, we've got some talented returners. We can just get hats on hats, and those guys don't need a lot. They just need a crease here and there, to make something happen in a return game. At the same time, with Ron coming off and blocking the PAT attempt, something that we've talked about. He's been very, very close week after week. And we've just been harping on telling him, look, you got to lay out to get that football. And he finally did. It's so good to see as a coach when you're coaching something up and you see it on game day and it occurs and there's some success, it's really a great feeling, and that kid feels great about that as well.
You guys were obviously able to fight off the factor of the packed stadium that Charlotte was able to produce for you. What do you think you need to do to get that kind of atmosphere consistently at NCCU?
Oh, I think we have a really good atmosphere at NCCU. Eagle Nation comes out and supports us, tremendously. We love to get it filled up this weekend. We certainly need, that 12th man versus this Towson team, and kind of make it uncomfortable for them as well. But our fans and our supporters are always there, and we're excited for that.
Coach Jenkins this morning talked about competing against higher level teams like a Towson or even an FBS opponent.
Sure.
In terms of parity, he says the skill positions are what they are. It's about getting those guys in the trenches. You agree with that?
I totally agree with that, John. I totally agree. Up front is going to be key, offensively and defensively. I think that's kind of the neutralizer, when you play up and they're like in terms of what they do and the size and things that they bring, So it's going to be important that we play at a high level, up front, for us to have some success.
Size-wise, are y'all comparable to Towson, or will it rely more on just technique of some of your smaller guys up front?
It's a combination of both. Certainly, when you're smaller, you want to have great technique. At the same time, even if you're a bigger offensive or defensive lineman, if your technique is flawed, you can get beat. So it's going to be important that we have overall, good technique. That we're coming off the ball well, for us to defense, and that we playing violent football.
Are you a big believer in labeling games? Measuring stick-wise? I mean, is this a measuring stick game for your program?
Well, I think, something we've talked about and the folks have asked, number 4 team in the country coming here. And we're not screaming and hollering about it. It's a huge game. It's not a secret, so our guys know. Our guys know that this is a big game and the like. But again, as we talk about looking at a national stage and being on a national stage, with a team such as Towson, it's going to be important, for us to get off to a good start, and we can win those type of games. Then you can begin to talk, FCS playoffs later on down the road as you get to your conference and the like.
Is it tough when you've got a big-time matchup like this to sort of pull the reins back a little bit and calm the guys down, make sure that they're focused throughout the week?
Indeed, we definitely want to be focused, but at the same time, we want to have that effort that we need for us to be really, really good throughout the week. So it's not about toning them down. We want that high effort throughout practice, but we really want to keen in on doing the little things to help us get to where we need to be.
The MEAC and CAA have similar geographic footprints. How important might this game be to recruiting if you can upset that?
Oh, it's huge. Just as I mentioned with the Charlotte game, and we do a great job in Charlotte recruiting, and that's a huge factor. When we can win games at their place and kind of pull some of those recruits our way. We have a couple of coaches also in the Maryland area and quite a few on our roster as well. So that's big when you talk about that recruiting factor and them, getting to our campus and seeing a win against a Towson team potential.
You got 3 games under your belt now as a college head coach. What's been the biggest adjustment?
Again, just game management, for the most part, and understanding that I'm going to have to make some decisions throughout the game along the way. Sometimes I get tuned in, to my offensive line or a thing that's a lot and the like. But just managing the game. Previously, I don't think I've ever said a word to a defensive back. In my previous experiences, but now to be able to communicate with them and talk to them about the great things that they're doing and even when they're not doing good, talk to them about that. I know Mike Jones in particular, and he struggles so much against St. Aug, and for him to come up big in overtime, how that just lifted his confidence as you look into to Charlotte this week. But previously, as an offensive line coach, and we didn't have many conversations, but it's good to be able to talk to different positions and get them motivated and get them an understanding that where they need to be as well.
So in other words, you're kind of like President Obama. It's all yours now.
Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's important to communicate with those guys at every position and know that I'm there and that we're all rooting for each other as a team effort.
Before I just laughed, he's a diehard Democrat over here, so he loves all Obama stuff.
Coach, your senior quarterback, Jordan Reed, was one of 22 college football players across the country to be selected to the All-State AFCA Good Works team. Can you talk about Jordan?
Absolutely. Jordan is a special student athlete. He's the epitome. He's what you want, for a college, for a college athlete. Great person, comes from a great family, does all the right things, leads us well, doesn't have a problem putting that leadership on his shoulders, and he's accepted that role, since he's been here. as well. I mean, once he got entrusted into the, quarterback position, that took an even greater role, and it still wasn't a problem. But off the field, just a better person, just a great person, great student. And I think that speaks volumes on the type of that award speaks volumes on the type of person that he is, and we're excited to have him.
How important is that to have a starting quarterback even to win that award for your other guys to kind of look and follow his example?
Indeed, and that's exactly what we're going to make an example of. Look at in terms of what Jordan has done, and for guys to see that, as well is huge. Not just on our campus, but off campus as well, and talking to recruits and talking to parents as well. Look at the type of student athletes that we have on our campus, and it's exciting to have a guy like Jordan.
All right, just talk about how satisfying it was to go on the road and come away with such a huge win last Saturday.
It was satisfying from an aspect that it was a great win for our team, and it was a great stepping stone for us to go in the right direction. But it was also sweet for me because I'm from Charlotte and I played high school football there. So it was an excellent win, and it was great to win at home.
Obviously, they cranks up a notch this coming weekend with Towson. How good of a team you guys going to be facing this weekend?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's not a secret that what they're doing, they're playing some great football up at Towson, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. But it's something that we're going to attack full steam ahead.
What do you know about their offense so far?
They have an excellent running back, and they have a big offensive line, and a quarterback who is pretty precise with his passes. So we gotta take it to him.
What do you think it did for your team if you were able to overcome such a hostile crowd at Nccu to win the game?
It was almost like we were kind of fighting the crowd. It was the first time we had played on a stage where the crowd was just so excited and loud, and we couldn't hear our checks, and it was just it was how football is supposed to be played. So it was kind of fun, but at the same time it was good to experience that because that's what we needed, to play on that big stage.
Did the preparation of practice having the loud music, did that actually help?
Yeah, that actually definitely does help. It may seem, small, but it does help because it's kind of like the background noise. We don't think about it anymore, but it has kind of helped us to focus more.
Do you have a lot of family and friends at the game?
Yeah, I had a lot of family, friends, grandma, high school coaches. It was just excellent to see them all. I actually saw them before the game. They all found me, and it got me even more excited to play. So.
Butterflies? Were you nervous? What was your mood like going in there?
I'm never really too nervous before a game. I'm kind of like the calm before the storm. But I just was feeling to be at home. I don't really have words to explain how good it felt.
How big do you think Saturday's game is for the program that maybe you get an upset you're nationally ranked next week?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
You have a chance to maybe be nationally ranked next week, I would think, if you beat number 4.
Yes.
That would be a big stepping stone in a lot of national.
That would be a tremendous step in the right direction for us. And I just feel like, especially with the bye week we have after them, we don't have any excuses. We need to give them everything we got and leave it all on the field. So I think it's a big test for us.
Do you think there's anything that y'all learned from the Duke game that you can take into this?
Yes, I definitely think so. I feel like the only thing that's going to put us in the position to win back first. That's something that we haven't really had success with, especially at the Duke game. I feel like we came out a little lackadaisical, and we were, a lot of young guys, a lot of big eyes, a lot of nervousness. But that's kind of how the system now. And we faced a big team, so there's another big team we're facing, and hopefully that experience and that remembering, that last game, that'll come back into effect, and hopefully they'll overcome that challenge that they faced the first time.
Does the Duke game help y'all know what a big physical FBS team feels like? So now going into Towson, which is not FBS but still very good, there's no filling out process.
Right, exactly. I definitely feel like that Duke was a good test for us, and it kind of exposed us to what challenges we were going to face, especially and now the challenge is here, and that's Towson. We were always kind of like a smaller team. So we're not used to looking up at people, but we were never back down. We're never afraid. So.
Not that a lot necessarily changed in terms of terminology and whatnot, but how much more comfortable are you with Coach Foster now that you've been a few weeks here?
Oh, Coach Foster has done an excellent job stepping into the head coach position. I speak highly of him because he I don't feel like you couldn't have done it any better. Nothing really skipped a beat. It was a struggle going through that, losing Coach Frazier. But Coach Foster couldn't have done it any better. He's saying all the right things. People are buying into what he's saying, and we're just trying to follow his leadership.
He was saying he almost never talked to defensive players when he was there. offensive coach. What did you think about him before he became the head
Yeah, I
coach?
actually had never really had more than 2 sentences with Coach Foster before that. Other than saying, "Hey, how you doing, Coach?" But I always had respect for him. I just kind of heard stories about his coaching style and how he can be a hard coach because he wants you to do well. He means well. And so when he did step into that role and we started conversating more and I heard more of him, I liked him even more just because of his personality. It just came out. And the type of person that he is and the type of man that he is, I feel like he's a great leader for this program.
You're going to a university that had a long tradition as a liberal arts school. What do you hope to get out of your psychology degree?
I was a business major up until last year, and I switched my focus to psychology, and that was just kind of a personal decision to get into sports psychology. I do enjoy coaching, and I like working with kids, and I feel like I can really reach the children, kind of with my football knowledge and my psychology knowledge to really help them excel on the field and off the field.
I would.
All set?
Talk about haircut.
Let's talk about barbering now, man.
Yes, sir.
So you're a licensed barber, and you picked that license up in high school.
Well, I went to No Grease School of Tonsorial Arts in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I graduated right after I graduated high school. So that was like June 2009, and I took the apprentice barber test August of 2009, and I passed the written part, but it's a 2-part exam, and I didn't have a model, and I just never really had the opportunity to go back. I got caught up with football and just college. So this past summer, I told Coach Foster, I let the coaches know, I was like, look, I'm planning on taking my, going back and getting my barber's exam. So I started studying for it, and I went back and took it in August again of this past August, and I passed.
You can set up like a combined barber psychology thing where people tell their barber a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, once you got them in the chair, they can't go anywhere.
This is true.
So you cut most of the guys on the team?
Yeah, I've been a team barber for a while. I've been
Who's
a
some
team
of the
barber.
guys you cut?
Everybody from J.R. Sharp and Don Lassiter to players now. I shape up Adrian. I know he doesn't, even guys with dreads, I do their shape ups and stuff like that.
Okay.
A lot of offensive linemen are my regular clients as well.
How'd you get? Was it a family thing? That you got?
Well, my grandmother did hair growing up, so I kind of watched her, but it was a blessing to fall into that.
Coach Foster said it took some convincing for you to finally get on his head, but he said you did a good job once you got on.
Yeah, he didn't let me, he was kind of standing back for a while because I cut a couple of the coaches' hair, and he saw, I did a pretty good job. So one day he was like, Tuck, I'll give you a chance, and I hooked it up how he liked it. So
Was this before he became a head man?
nope. The first time I cut him was after he took on the role.
So you really hadn't had much interaction?
Yeah, I really had not had too much interaction, other than doing one-on-ones with offensive linemen and trying to get them boys, cussed out for doing my job. But
All right. Good enough, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, Doug.